So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make acne disappear or start to go away in a week's time. 5 solutions that make that happen, that don't involve toxins and don't involve creams that can really leave you in a worse place or injure you long term. And then we're going to go into some do-it-yourself treatments for pimples, for acne. Not a fun condition to deal with, and most of us have dealt with them in our lifetime, whether it's a blackhead, whether it's a pimple, whether it's a cyst, whether it's a pustule. These are all forms of the acne and the pimples that happen. And the traditional approach to this is cream, which is typically going to have 1 or 2 sources in it. I was a biochem minor in my undergraduate, I graduated with a biochem minor in benzoyl peroxide. This stuff comes right out of the laboratory where we would be working, and acute exposures to this stuff, to any kind of peroxide we use, we had to be careful of because it can create moderate to severe irritation of the eyes. That's why we had like the shower in the laboratory, your nose, your throat, breathing it in, redness, tearing of the eyes, can make you runny nose, can make you cough, can make difficulty breathing. So there's known side effects to these creams. That's primarily what's being used when it comes to a lot of the pimple creams that you see on the market that you can get over the counter. The other one that they use is salicylic acid, and this is another one we used in the laboratory quite a bit. It was part of the formulas that we worked around, and exposing that long term can create a level of toxicity, especially for those with kidney issues. So there's a couple studies, and unfortunately some people have lost lives from this. I'm not trying to say this to scare you. It's just, okay, can we make this more simple? And can we make this less toxic? Okay. First, do no harm is my first job as a doctor. Second, I hold my standard is, does it build health? And so there's some things you can do that don't actually build health, but at least let's not do harm in the process of trying to clear up our skin. So let's get the skin cleared up. What are some things we can do? Here's 5 main focuses that I would say are the top things in order to get your skin looking better, feeling better within a week's period of time. And number 1 is really easy. It's water. Water cleanses out the pores, okay? And it helps, especially when the skin is really dried out, which if you're using one of those creams, chances are that's what's going to happen over time. Increase to at least 64 ounces of water a day. Half of your body weight in ounces in water is what you're looking for, okay? Number 2, the big thing is we've got to get your insulin going down. Now, I'm not talking about a diabetic here. Maybe you are, though, or type 2 or type 1. Type 1 is a different story. What I'm just referring to is everyday person in America traditionally has significant insulin spikes because of the way that we eat. Our diets are full of glycemic spiking, high glycemic index foods. And the load that this puts on us really increases the toxicity of our skin. So not only do these processed foods contain chemicals and artificial flavorings and oils that make our glands and our cells more toxic, but raising those insulin levels, right, and increasing the amount of glycemic foods that we put in, more lesions occur when it comes to acne. So compared to individuals that don't have a high glycemic index, studies have shown significantly more acne, significantly more blemishes for just eating high glycemic foods. So what do? We need to focus on lower glycemic foods. This would be your lower carbohydrate approaches, regardless if you want to eat a vegetarian lifestyle or an anti-inflammatory or a carnivore, whatever style you're picking, we need to make sure that's not too high in the amount of sugars, or we're asking for our skin not to look good. And the skin is the largest organ inside of the body. It's a big reflection of how healthy overall your organs are. So if you're having problems there, chances are something's going on the inside. Lowering your glycemic foods is number 1. Number 2 is fasting and easing into this, whether in the way of intermittent fasting or rotational fasting, which I love, really has an impact on your skin. If you need help doing those, there's resources below to help you through that to get started. Let's stay right on the food route because number 3 is dairy. Dairy has also been a huge focus in studies, and even not so much specifically with acne. It's not so much that the whey proteins or just the fact that you're eating dairy, it was actually what it did to insulin. Dairy is insulin tropic, and that means it spikes insulin. So here we are again, right back to what we just talked about, is that even milk stimulates insulin. And it also contains potentially antibiotics, contains hormones, which are going to make your skin and your hormones not function the way that they're designed to. So insulin produces extra fat inside of the system, right? And that may contribute more to acne development than the actual fat or dairy content in the dairy itself. When it came to dairy, that's what studies found. So we've got to get dairy out, cut that out for a period of time. Sour creams, half and halves, cheeses and butters. You don't have to be away from them forever, but wouldn't it be interesting if you cut it out in a week's period of time if you started to see your skin get better? Number 4 are omegas, especially those coming from fish oils. We want healthy forms of oil, therefore we want to increase our omega-3 and decrease our toxic omega-6s. And there tends to be a big imbalance of that, which there's some resources below to teach you more on that concept of lowering 6s and getting healthy 3s. We do, however, still need healthy 6s. So my favorite forms of omega-3 are quality fish, cod, and even tuna if it's properly handled, herring, sardines. You know, maybe you love to eat some of these and they're delicious to you. Maybe you don't like them and you maybe get it in a supplement form. Omega-3s, very, very good for the skin. Omega-6s, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds are really good sources of those to help the skin out as well. It's that good balance. Both have a benefit to the skin and how your skin looks. Number 5, probiotics, the good bacteria that sit inside of your gut, okay? And recent research into the effects of probiotics that were administered to individuals with acne presents really promising results, showing that as you put in good fermented bacteria, sauerkraut, kefir, these are good sources of apple cider vinegar, of getting into your system to build the good bacteria in your small intestine and in your colon. I like to use prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics to get the full effect all the way down the digestive system. And some good food forms to do that. I would stay away from the dairy forms if you can help it. Potentially even yogurt is the main focus there, as we just talked about dairy having a negative effect on the skin. But just adding some sauerkraut into your diet and apple cider vinegar with your meals, a tablespoon in the morning to 2 tablespoons, same thing in the evening, within a week. Wonder what that would do to your skin. So there are 5 foods to really focus on to clean up your diet that's going to impact your skin. Let me give you some of my favorite topical remedies that you can whip up at home and really do this. So the first one's going to be really based around, and the second for that for topical remedies, green tea, okay? So I'm going to show you the drink remedy for this, then it will also go through topically what you can do with it. So you can, of course, drink green tea. It's going to help. It's going to contain several substances called catechins, and these are plant-based compounds. They're polyphenols. They have antioxidant ability, anti-inflammatory abilities, antibiotic properties, and so those are all the things that drive a lot of acne conditions. They also attack free radicals inside the system. So this is something to be getting into the body. It is also, green tea, very high in EGCG. It's a polyphenol. And research shows that it can improve acne and the oil in the skin because EGCG is an anti-androgen. And what that means, anti-androgens inside of your body, when they're higher, they stimulate your oil glands to produce more sebum, produce more oil. And that is one of the known causes of acne. Too much of the oily skin, too much secretions in the skin, they get clogged up, and it creates this blemish. EGCG in green tea actually helps combat that. So you can actually use this on your skin if you can drink it, of course, but then on the skin, if you mix this, you could take green tea, you could take a little bit of honey, you could take some aloe, and you can literally make a mask for acne that you can be using at night. Simply take the green tea leaves, right? Loose leaf, ideal. 2 bags of green tea would be enough, and you'll want to steep that, right? And then warm them up in the water and boil it, and then as it starts to cool off, mix in, okay, honey, mix in aloe vera if you want to. That'll help while it's still warm, kind of allow it to mix together. You could also use silver serum, which is a type of colloidal silver that the colloidal and the silver is imprinted in water. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. And then what you do, you just mix that up, right? And that mixture can actually be put right onto your face, or you could put it on, soak it on a damp cloth and put it over and leave it on there for 10 to 20 minutes as kind of a mixture to the acne prone areas, especially the face or any part of your body, okay? And if you choose to have it more like a paste, you could add some baking soda to it. You want to be very careful of that because the baking soda can be irritable, can also dry out the skin. So you may just leave it as a liquid, obviously let it cool before you put it on, but you can put honey in there, you can put aloe into there and kind of mix it all together and use it. Or you can just try the spritz. This is a little bit more convenient, but basically you prepare the green tea, right? And so you steep the green tea, let it cool completely, and then you fill a little spray bottle with the cold tea, and then you add an ounce of silver serum. Now, since silver serum is colloidal silvers, is a lot of people understand silver very antimicrobial, very antiviral, antifungal, so it'd be very good for the skin. However, a lot of forms on the market are ionic, and they can fall out of solution, and they can build up in your body and create some problems. But colloidal silver that is from silver serum, this is a serum where the colloidal silver is imprinted into the structure of water. It's patented technology. So then it doesn't fall out of solution. It's stable. It can be used really simply. And so you can put an ounce of that in there. There's some resources on silver serum. But this serum mixed with the green tea, right? You can just spray gently onto the skin, let it dry 10 to 20 minutes. You get an easy rinse that doesn't have those drying out toxic chemicals. And if you prefer, you can use a cotton pad and dab it on, but that would be an easy one just to leave right in the bathroom. So the green tea facial spritz, you could use a couple times a week. I wouldn't use it every day, same way with the mask. And then put those foods in your diet every single day. Within a week, you can see changes with your skin. Within a week, you can start seeing that vibrance come back, the blemishes go down, and start making some progress because you are the solution. Wanted to make this simple for you. Hope you can get some relief for acne. There's a couple other resources down below for you to check out. Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more help in areas to make health simple. Check out these resources as a next step.